Hey everyone, today I'm here to do the writing habits tag. This video was first created by To Dream an Impossible Dream, and I'm going to link the original video down below. Now I personally was tagged by Jenny at Adultish Books, and if for some bizarre reason you're subscribed to my channel and not subscribed to her, I encourage you to please go over to her channel, which I'll link down below, and remedy that situation. Because I think she's super funny. I love that she does honest reviews. And I feel we have reasonably similar tastes in books, so if you're interested in the type of books I'm reading, you're going to find a lot of the same type of books over on her channel, so go subscribe. So the first question is typed or handwritten, and for me it's always typed. I really prefer typing on a computer. The reason is that you're able to edit things on the go. I like to be able to move around sentences, change words, without having to cross things off or kind of start a new line on, if you're handwriting it. You can't just delete things out of existence. So always typing. Next question is, if I am writing, is it cursive or printed? And if I want to write fast, I use cursive writing, but if myself or anyone in the future ever needs to read it, I definitely print. I have really nice printing, but my handwriting is terrible and pretty much illegible. Next is show your favorite pen. Now I'm not a person with very fancy pens. Most of my pens came from a big box at Walmart and they're all terrible, but I do have this one which I love, and this is the Xeno from Staples. It's their brand and I love it in blue. It's super nice, and unlike all my Walmart pens, it doesn't die after 2 seconds. So I don't know if you can see that, but I really like this one. I think you can get it in the States too, but I'm not selling the pen, just I like this one. The next question are who are my favorite authors in terms of style. And the first one is a bit obvious, but that's J.K. Rowling, and the reason I put her on this list was after I read The Cuckoo's Calling, I really appreciated what a strong writing style she had. I always knew she was a good storyteller from the Harry Potter series, but it wasn't until I read something other than Harry Potter that she had written that I realized just how strong her writing is. I love how she describes characters, and I just feel that she is such a master of her craft. She really is in control of her writing, and I really appreciated that. The next author I thought of was Sylvia Plath. Of course, she's only written one novel, and that's The Bell Jar, which I read last year, but there's something so beautiful about her writing, and I wish she had written more novels, just because I find her writing to be so hauntingly beautiful. Even though it was incredibly dark, there was something just beautiful about her writing, and I absolutely loved her style. The next one I thought of was Margaret Atwood. I feel like Margaret Atwood just has such a distinct style. There was probably a good 4 or 5 year gap between reading The Handmaid's Tale and reading The Edible Woman, and despite that length of time, as soon as I started reading The Edible Woman, I was immediately drawn back into her style, and I remembered, I was like, oh yes, this is Atwood's writing, and it's so distinctive. There's something about how she writes that just screams Atwood to me, and some people don't like that, but whatever that, I don't even know how to put that into words, but there's something very distinctive about her writing, and I personally love everything I've read of hers so far. Now, finally, to put a male on this list, the next one I thought of was Yann Martel. Of course, the Canadian author most famous for Life of Pi. I have written other works by him, including Self, and I think that he's another author who has really good control over his storytelling. Now, the last author on this list is George R. Martin, who of course wrote the Song of Ice and Fire series. I really like his style of how he constructs his world and characters, and is able to really put together complex ideas and storylines. The next question is, what projects am I currently working on? And currently I'm a little stuck on what to write about, and I've been wanting to write something almost contemporary, something perhaps inspired by an event in my own life but kind of twisted into something fiction. Obviously there's nothing in my life that's exciting enough to write a memoir about, but I wanted to use that kind of as a jumping off point. But every time I sit down to write, I just feel like I'm going to end up writing my day-to-day life without an actual hook to draw the audience in, and I'm kind of just grasping at straws, not having an idea right now. So maybe I'll get back to you, because I do want to get into writing again. It used to be one of my bigger hobbies, and I still like to consider myself a writer, but I honestly haven't written seriously in years. and that's just disappointing. Next is, what is your soundtrack to writing? And when I do write, I always listen to CBC Radio, which is a Canadian broadcast radio, which you can stream online. I'll put a link down below. Typically I like to listen to the morning show as well as the afternoon show. They play the most fantastic music, everything from Metric to Stars to Monsters and Men to Serena Ryder. I just love everything they play, and it's such a great source for finding kind of some of those smaller indie bands. They don't just play Canadian artists, but from all over the world. If you love anything like Mumford & Sons, they play all of that, and I just love listening to that when I'm writing anything. And finally, do I have a pump-up song when writing? I don't have a specific pump-up song, but typically what I've liked to do in the past when I'm writing something is I like to find one song, and this sounds terribly annoying, but one song that I will listen to on repeat while I write. And part of the reason is that I find that as long as you're playing something on repeat, you get so used to it that it becomes background noise and you don't get distracted by the lyrics. And particularly, I like to find a song that perhaps could be the theme song for my novel or it identifies with the main character. For example, I remember in high school that I was writing an essay on Catcher in the Rye, and of course the main character Holden is always calling people phonies, and I found this Gavin DeGraw song that was all that in the lyrics it was saying, "Oh, I'm surrounded by imposters everywhere I go." And because of that line, while I wrote that entire essay, I had his song on repeat because it felt like the kind of song Holden would listen to if he grew up in my time. And so, yeah, I don't have like one pump-up song, but rather I'll just find one song that feels like it identifies perfectly with what I'm writing about and just play it non-stop. Now that I live with another person, I'm more likely to use headphones when doing this as not to drive my husband crazy, but he's always really accommodating. Finally, I'm going to tag 3 people in this. Keep in mind, I don't know if you write as a hobby. I am just tagging other people, so no pressure to do this tag if you're not a writer or not interested, but I like to tag some people directly as well. If I don't mention your name but you want to do this tag, consider yourself tagged by me anyway, because I feel like eventually, you know, tags kind of simmer out, and if you don't get tagged, I don't want anyone to feel bad, just pretend I tagged you. But specifically, I'm going to tag 3 people. If you're a writer, I hope you'll do this tag. The 3 are Stacie from MagicofBooks, Selena from Talking Leaves, and Lauren from Glowing Reviews 90. I'll link their channels down below if you don't know any of them, because they're all booktubers. And I will talk to y'all later. Have a good one. Okay, bye.